we were lucky that we got 2 solid practice sessions on Friday to really work on our setup and get it ready for that one race. But now they're actually having to produce lap times from the get-go, trying to get themselves in through to Q2 and produce that kind of stuff. So what a lot of people struggle with, I think, a lot of the riders, is when to sort of work on race setup and when to work on a fast lap setup. So they spend so much of their practice sessions trying to just get a lap time out of it that they sometimes forget about that sort of race pace and making sure the tyres can last, especially on a circuit like this, that if the conditions happen to be good on Sunday, it's going to use those tyres a lot, and trying to get them to last around here is very much key.
Yeah, you have to be conservative in some ways with that. What does it mean to you to come back to Phillip Island? You have a look at so many faces here. So many people have been coming down here for years. Obviously, we've got the next generation as well. What does it mean to you to come back to Phillip Island?
Yeah, well, it was very much a home. We're just saying out the back there that, I didn't have a birthday at home, I think, from when I was 13 all the way through I was 31. Most of them were here at Phillip Island. It just happened to coincide within that sort of week that my birthday always fell at this race. So most of the time my birthday was here, home race. There was always, a bit of extra pressure, but not as much as people think, because this, believe it or not, was not my home track in terms of compared to other people. I'd never raced here before I raced in World Championships. I'd never seen the track ever in real life. So the first time I got to race here was against all my competitors, and a lot of my competitors had actually been to this circuit a lot of times, more than me.
Now, he talked about his birthday. He did turn 40 yesterday. I know he doesn't look a day over 21. He's had happy birthday saying to him a lot, so we won't do that, but maybe, and we'll allow the video boys time to focus in on the crowd here. What about 3 cheers maybe for a 2-time world champion celebrating his 40th birthday? Ready? 3 cheers. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. There you go.
Big thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
But for you, you've got the family down here now. Life's moved on. You continue obviously to stay in touch and do that. Who else are you still in touch with around the paddock? I mean, we know there's a bit of an Aussie mafia. We cheer for Jack, and we know about what Senna's doing and Joel's doing. Are you still staying in touch with a lot of people around the paddock?
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, when you're traveling around in MotoGP, it's basically a big circus. You all travel around together. Most of the time you're on the same planes, same flights. You get to Europe and you sort of go your separate ways. But so often, especially the flyaway races, we're all traveling together just week in, week out. And so many people become family. Most people through their careers change teams. They either go from the lower categories up, or even once they're in the main category, you change teams. But I've got a lot of close friends inside this paddock. So that was one thing that I missed a lot. I didn't really ever enjoy the wins just for myself. It was more because of what the sort of happiness, I suppose, and satisfaction that I got to bring to everybody from back at the factory, to everybody that works, week in and week out. Here, it's not an individual sport. Yes, we are the ones that have to get the job done on Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday for these guys now. But it's an entire team sport, and these guys work really, really hard to prepare the bikes and get everything ready for us to do our job on Sunday.
I'm very privileged to be able to talk to you, and you and I will catch up a bit over the weekend, but let's get some of these people to ask some questions. Lauren, we might have a roving mic. Stick your hand in the air if you'd like to. We've got a gentleman in the middle there who's got himself perfectly positioned, and your hand sprung up only a moment or two ago. Maybe just down here, Lauren, if we can. While we're waiting for the microphone to be able to come around, 2 world championships, 2 different manufacturers. Can you compare and contrast both of those years and how they unfolded for you?
I actually don't think they could be
more apart.
Yeah. The one with Ducati was a shock to all of us, to be honest. I went into that season after having some issues with contracts with another manufacturer that they sort of stabbed us in the back a little bit, and almost was looking at the end of my career, couldn't get a ride, and then basically we had the opportunity to go with Ducati, and I really just sort of wanted to try and take maybe 1 or 2 wins that year and some podiums to sort of show that I deserved a little bit more, a little bit better treatment than I got the year before. from another, sort of manufacturer that I was supposed to be going with. And so I had quite a bit of motivation in some ways, but once I rode the Ducati for the first time, I knew it was going to be very much an uphill battle. It wasn't doing things that I expected it to do. It was a very, very tricky bike to ride. But myself and my team, and at the time, the person who's now Pecco Bagnaia's crew chief was mine. That was his first year being a crew chief. So we were both rookies, let's say, especially in a factory team. And we managed to get a lot more out of that motorcycle over those 4 years than anybody else did. So we're very, very proud of the job we did. But in 2007, it was a very, very hard slog. We won a lot of races, but it was very much a tough season. Honda was kind of the opposite. It was, as soon as I rode the bike, I was just like, wow, I know what we can do with this bike. We've got a very, very good chance to win. And from the first race, everything was going smoothly. We had the issue in one of the early rounds and lost, a lot of points to our competitor who was very, very consistent. But throughout that whole season, I had so much confidence in the bike and what we could do. Managing the races a lot better than what we were with Ducati. At Ducati, we had to ride them in a certain way to take wins, whereas with the Honda, I could sit back, I could look after tyres, ride it in a completely different situation. And we just sort of had a calmness through 2011 of knowing, the situation. And so they were very, very contrasting. In one, we were basically riding our butts off in 2007.
Wringing its neck every
chance we got, taking risks. And in 2011, it was very much riding within ourselves.
Yeah.
And we went out and took that championship. It wasn't just, winning it by pushing as hard as we could and finding those sort of thing. We had a lot more comfort.
We might have that mic going just in the middle there, Lauren, if we can. So, sir, I'll get you to say your name and your question, please.
Thank you. Name's Chris Hearn. I look 70, but I'm only 13. Different, isn't it? Are you coping well?
A friend of mine said years ago, before my oldest was born, and he said, just enjoy each moment. Don't look forward to when they can walk and talk and all these sort of, milestone moments. He's like, there'll be so many other smaller stages and smaller moments that, too many people miss out on. So he said, enjoy each moment. And it's basically that, as much as you wish that they could stay, younger and cuter and all the rest of it to a certain degree, all of a sudden they keep growing up, they keep showing you, my oldest is turning into a beautiful woman. My youngest is a character that surprises us every single day. And, they just keep, shocking us through each stage and each moment. So it's something that, we enjoy every day.
Very good. Thank you for that question. Okay, we've got to know. We might get one of the kids, Lauren, if we can. Maybe this young man down here.
What was your fastest lap time?
That's a good question. Around here, I'm not actually sure if I remember that.
There you go. We'll have to hit the record book.
I think we might have been 28 something, but that was with qualifying tyres some time ago. And then as the circuit got a bit older and the surface was more and more tricky, and very much here at Phillip Island, the conditions are the biggest factor. So sometimes you want to go really fast and push really hard, but your limitations are what the weather chooses to do. If it's too windy, too cold, too hot, or too wet, it makes it quite tricky. So I think it was a 28 something, but I'm not sure.
I can tell you Liam was faster than everyone else on about 6 occasions, so his lap time was okay. Maybe just pass it back. We've got another young man.
I'm Flynn. What is your favourite track to race at?
My favourite track is very much this one. So it's
we like to hear that, don't we? We like to hear that.
I'm never been the kind of person that, it's going to be a home track and the reason that I love it is because it's my home race. No, it's because this circuit is amazing. It's fantastic. Before the computer generated circuits came in, where they just design a track and plop it on a piece of land, this one, somebody's gone around, seen the lays, seen the heights and lows around here, and it makes it a very, very unique experience. That and the fact that it's very fast. The faster you go, especially with a MotoGP bike, it means it's a lot more difficult to find traction and find grip. And that was always a little bit more my specialty. So the faster the circuits generally was a little bit better for me. And then I'm very, very lucky that Phillip Island just seemed to suit, everything about what it did, and absolutely love this place.
Excellent, very good. We might have time for one more. We've got a lady in the middle over here, just over there. That would be great. Say your name and your question. Hang on, I got Stooge there.
Is that okay?
Right,
fine.
you better speak in a really high voice, okay?
Oh, I'm very excited to be here. My name's Josh. I grew up watching you, Casey, and just wanted to say thank you for being such an inspiration to young riders and really inspiring me to get into racing. Huge fan. I guess my question is, in 2011, when you won the championship here on your birthday, just wanted to wonder what that felt like for you.
No, it was it was an incredible day just to tick so many boxes on one single day. You know, it was I think my 5th in a row here, 2nd World Championship at your home Grand Prix on your birthday. I don't think too many people can sort of tick. No, nobody else can really have that sort of opportunity. I think we're very, very lucky, very fortunate. You know, my birthday's always been around the weekend, but it was on Sunday, on that day. So it was a very, very incredible moment, and something that definitely wasn't, it wasn't on the cards until Jorge crashed that morning and decided to pull out of the race. So, no, it's like I said, I don't think anybody really will get the opportunity to do something like that at their home Grand Prix again. And, very lucky and very fortunate that, again, this track happens to be my favourite and my home Grand Prix. World Championship on my birthday. You just can't line that sort of stuff up. So, very thankful, very fortunate.
We've been fortunate to, absolutely, to have some precious time with you because we know you're busy. As we let you go, throw ahead to Sunday. Who wins it? Why? Where does Jack Miller, who's obviously done really well just 10, 15 minutes ago, just outline your thoughts ahead of Sunday's race?
Well, I hadn't written Jack off for this weekend, but looking at the performance of the Yamaha and that this year, the struggles that they've had, I hadn't really expected him to sort of do what he did this morning. So it also hasn't been one of Jack's best circuits, etc. But as long as you work at it and you find what works and where you need to improve, then there's always a chance. So it was really, really good to see what he was doing in free practice 1. I mean, it's been very, very difficult now that Mark's out. With Mark in the race, you can, generally put a tick next to his name for a circuit like this. That he seems to enjoy quite a lot. So I think with him out of it, it's very, very difficult to pick. I think Marco Bezzecchi, obviously, this sort of circuit should suit him a little bit. Depends how the Aprilia's going around. Pecco's sort of always. Pedro Acosta's always sort of around and in there, but sometimes oversteps his boundaries a little bit too much this year in particular. Pecco, as we know, has been struggling a little bit and, again, doesn't necessarily like this track a whole lot compared to others. So it's really up in the air. We've had Aldeguer, who's won the last race and an incredibly, quick rookie this year. We'll see how he goes around here, but it's anybody's race really. Free practice 1 isn't anything to go by because you don't know who's looking at race setup versus lap times. So it's going to be quite a tricky one, and I think very, very difficult to pick this weekend.
Well, like you said, no one will be doing it though on their birthday. No one will have quite as many ticks in the box as you've had. The fan forum is wonderful. We love having you people here. We love having someone like Casey here as well. Thanks to spokes.com.au. Make sure you're using protection as well. But could you please offer a huge round of applause to our 2-time champion here at Fan Forum. We love seeing him here. Thank you very much, Casey. Don't forget, we've got plenty more people up for you later this afternoon as well. More riders, Moto 2, Moto 3. We've got engineers. So make sure you check in here at Fan Forum. Thanks to Spokes.